그 감독님을 포함해서 모든 분들에게 좀 질문을 드리겠는데요. 그 이번 가디언즈 오브 갤럭시, 그러니까 가디언즈 갤럭시 시리즈 자체가 이제 최대 업적 중에 하나가 이제 월드팝을 전 세계에 전도했다 이런 부분이 아닐까 하는데 각각 분들께서 이번 사운드트랙 중에서 가장 좋아하시는 곡이 있으시면 어떤 곡인지 말씀해 주시면 감사하겠고요. 그다음에 제임스 건 감독님께 질문을 드리겠는데요. MCU 작품을 맡은 감독분들 중에서 가장 손에 꼽히는 연출력을 보여주고 계신데 이번 작품 푸티지를 보니까 액션 등을 포함해서 이제 팬들이 원하는 마블 영화의 근본으로 되돌아간 느낌이 들었어요. 그래서 이 어벤져스 엔드게임 이후에 현재 마블 영화의 방향성에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지, 그리고 이번 작품이 흥행이 MCU의 전환점 역할을 해줄 수 있을지 이런 것에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지 답변 부탁드리겠습니다.
This question is for all of you. Speaking of the music, this series really made the old pop kind of a global phenomenon. And I would like to ask each one of you your favorite song in the film. Okay, and then after that, I have another question for James. Among many MCU directors, you are one of those, master director with stellar directing skills. And it looks like with this film especially, we really go back to the action scenes and all the spectacles that fans always wanted and fans always are hungry for from the MCU films. So we would like to ask you your opinion about the direction of MCU after the Endgame. Where is it heading, and what kind of role this film will play when it hits it becomes a global box office hit.
Sure. You guys want to talk about what's your favorite song from this movie?
My first concert that I ever saw as a kid was Radiohead. And so Creep, which is the song that opens the film, it's definitely a different tone than what you're used to in a Guardians of the Galaxy film, but this film in itself has a unique tone, and that really, to me, is probably my favorite song because it reminds me of the time that I saw Radiohead when I was a teenager.
For me, it's the same. It's Creep, and I think it opens the movie in such a beautiful and emotional way. And I think we all, at times feel like creeps and like weirdos, and we feel like we don't belong, and we feel like, we're different. And I felt that way also, and I feel like it's universal, And and sometimes I say, we're not superheroes, we're super weirdos, So this goes with, that touches me a lot, this song.
I heard from one of your interviews that every time you watched the opening sequel, you cried at the music.
Which one?
Every time you watch the opening sequence.
I mean, I cry a lot, so it's possible.
She cries at everything. It's not, but not as much as Karen, I don't think. Karen cries the most on set.
I am always ready to cry. I don't know what that says about me. It's just always bubbling under the surface. But it's good. It's cathartic. Okay, my favorite song is also Creep, but maybe I should choose a different one. I quite liked one I haven't heard before. It was the I Care a Lot. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun.
We Care a Lot by Faith No
We
More.
Care a Lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. That one is good.
It's a good song. My favorite is, I also love Creep, and it's one of my favorite recordings, actually. It's an acoustic recording, which is not widely known, was only very limited release, so being able to get it out there into the world is really cool. I think Florence and the Machine's Dog Days Are Over is probably one of the top 5 best songs of the past 20 years, pop songs. So I love that. But there's also a song by the Mowglis in the movie that played at my wedding, where all of these guys were in the audience, and it played as my wife and I, right after we had our first kiss, as we walked off the stage together. So San Francisco's the name of the song. So that one's incredibly important to me.
What about the second question?
Oh, the second question. I think that we really knew it was very important that if we were going to make this movie and go through everything that we had to make this movie, it was going to be the biggest and yet also the smallest Guardians film. And by small, I simply mean it's the most personal. It really is about these characters interacting with each other, and the stakes are the highest, but the stakes are is the life of Rocket. and the few other characters in the movie. So it's gigantic in one respect, but so emotional and so intimate and so close that it was much different. And I don't know how it's going to affect the MCU going forward. I know that the Guardians, you know, this group of Guardians isn't going to be there in that way anymore. But I also think that, you know, hopefully, I think I would like to see more MCU movies that have more, and you know, just big spectacle films and superhero movies in general that have more emotion to them, as well as the big action and the spectacle. I want to also really care for the characters. I like the humor, I like all of that, but what I really want to see is a little bit more emotion in the movies, and I think that would be really great.